Typical dwarf stories in Norse mythology. Lives in mountain caves, underground caves and in the land of Nidavellir. They are extremely talented craftsmen and blacksmiths, artists who create countless valuable, and also disastrous, treasures for gods and humans. Below, Epic would like to name some of the most typical dwarves mentioned in the Norse mythology treasury. 1. Motsonar and Durin. These were the first two dwarves created in the world. From the maggots on the body of the progenitor giant Ymir, the gods Odin, Vili and Ve gave them shape and intelligence like humans. Motsonar was created first, then Durin. They are the ancestors of the dwarf race. 2. Nadri, Sudri, Ostri and Vestri. After the giant Ymir died, his body parts were used to shape the world. Ymir's skull became the dome of the sky, supported by the four dwarves Nadri, Sudri, Ostri, and Vestri. They may symbolize the four winds, or identify with the four deer that live around. 3. Dvalin. Dvalin was the leader who brought the runes to teach the dwarves, and was also the creator of the cursed sword Tyrfing. In the epic Hervarar, the two dwarves Dvalin and Durin were forced by King Svafrlami to forge the sword Tyrfing for him, a sword that never slips, never rusts, and can cut through stone and iron. They angrily cursed that every time Tyrfing swung, one person would die, and at the same time create three terrible evils for the world. Svafrlami heard it and tried to swing his sword to kill Dvalin, but he quickly disappeared behind the cliff. Later, Svafrlami was also killed by that curse. 4. Brising dwarves. They are the four dwarves Dvalin, Alfrig, Burling and Gur, who created the Brisingamen necklace. The necklace is made from gold and silver, encrusted with delicate gems just like the night sky, making the goddess Freya fascinated. To get the necklace, she had to fulfill an unseemly request of the dwarves: sleep with each dwarf for one night. And she agreed. Even though she had the necklace, she was still restless. Loki snitched on Odin, making Odin angry, ordering Loki to steal the bracelet while Freya slept. He only paid Freya on one condition: she must use her beauty to stir up a battle between the two kings of Midgard. And every time a soldier falls, she must use magic to revive him and join the battle again. And she agrees. 5. The sons of Ivaldi and brothers Brock and Eitri tried to cut off the beautiful golden hair of the goddess Sif, which Loki was caught by Thor. To atone for his mistake, he had to return Sif's hair as soon as possible. So to avoid having to pay, he set up a competition between two teams of dwarves to see who could create the most valuable treasures. Gods. The sons of Ivaldi created the ship Skidbladnir for Freyr, the spear Gingnir for Odin, and the golden wig for Sif. Brothers Brock and Eitri created the wild boar Gullinbursti for Freyr, the golden ring Draupnir for Odin and the hammer Emjanir for Thor. Thanks to the hammer Emjanir, brothers Brock and Eitri were declared victorious by the gods. Ironically, Loki had previously bet Brock that if they won they would get Loki's head. Loki then explained that they could only take the head, not the neck, because that was not in the agreement. But they had no way to take the head without hurting the neck, so they had to swallow the bitterness. Finally, Brock sewed Loki's mouth shut to relieve his anger and then leisurely left. 6. Alvis. The couple Thor and Sif have their only daughter, the beautiful Thrud. a fragrant flower that pleases the gods of Asgard. Yet, I don't understand which devious god secretly betrothed Thrud to the ugly dwarf Alvis to pay him for forging weapons for the gods. I don't know which god is such a jerk. Thor didn't know, Sif didn't know, and Thrud didn't even know. And one fine day, Alvis knocked on Thor's door claiming to be his son-in-law. Thor was panicking about his son-in-law falling from the sky and not being able to support Thrud at all, so he thought of a plan to test his wits. Alvis's wisdom. He asked Alvis one question after another, and he answered them all. Thor bought time until dawn. Alvis was busy proving that he was hit by the rays of sunlight and turned into a stone statue. The moldy chopsticks look like that. 7. Halar and Galar. There are dwarves. There are dwarves. There are talented dwarves. There are also dwarves who are rude like these two guys. Halar and Galar are two dwarves who killed the god Kvasir, mixed his blood with honey to create poetic wine, a wine that when drunk immediately becomes poetic. After accidentally becoming a giant Gilling drowned, and they killed his Galar wife when she screamed loudly. Suttung, son of Gilling and Galar, captured the two dwarves, and in exchange for their lives, they were forced to compensate Suttung with the precious wine of poetry. 8. Andvari is a dwarf who owns a large treasure trove of gold and the Andvaranot ring that can help the owner find more gold. He was arrested and threatened with death if he did not surrender all the gold and the ring. Andvari was angry, cursing that whoever owned the ring and the gold treasure would suffer a fate of misfortune and death. As expected, the ring later brought disaster to the kingdom of the dwarf king Reimar, as well as the family of the hero Sigurd. Later, Andvari found the gold treasure again. But the cursed ring is forever lost in the endless world. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.